After the mind-blowing amount of games in less than 9 months in European club football, I must admit that I was in need of a break. A break of, well, 10 days. But when you love football, that's enough time to get back this passionate desire for the game. And now I'm sure that everybody can't wait for the European Championship. So in this video I'll share my views of the big teams in danger of failure, the unpredictable battles of the group phase, the key matches, and the players who can surprise us and lead their teams to glory. So let's board the game. Hello, I'm Nick and you're watching Board the Game. Let's look at 3 of the big favorites which can have problems reaching the quarterfinals or even maybe passing the group stage. I'm sure I won't surprise anybody by pointing at England. Despite the great performance in the last World Cup and my personal desire to see England at least on the final, this Group D is not easy at all. We know that England have the tendency to crack after a bad start, and such here is quite possible, because their first game is against Croatia. If they lose it, then they face a tough derby game with Scotland, and we can be sure that the Scottish are going to play as bravely as possible. The final group game is against another tricky opponent, the Czech Republic, which can have its chances against an England side playing under pressure and in a need of points. All we know, England needs a solid start and at least a draw against Croatia. Otherwise, Southgate and company may get into trouble. Confident beginning is also needed for Germany. Now many will say, are you a fool to underestimate Germany? You should never do it. And no, I'm not a fool. But remembering the failure in Russia in 2018 and looking at the always solid defensive style of Portugal and the quality of the world champion France, then it's probable to see the Germans on the 3rd place. But of course, the Mannschaft is most dangerous in exactly this kind of situation, when many are writing them off. And it may prove important that the last game for Germany in Group F is against the underdog Hungary. And finally, I can't see Spain progressing far in this competition. When you look at the squad, you can see so much talent, so many young players, but you still have the feeling for something average. This team hasn't proved itself on the highest level, and I don't believe it will happen this summer. Poland and Sweden are tough teams to beat, and if Spain is successful in both games, it will definitely be a sign that I'm wrong right now. So pay attention to these 3 teams. Maybe at least one of them will disappoint, and that might even mean finishing 3rd in the group. That's not a guarantee of going through to the knockout phase, and if you reach the eliminations, you're facing a group winner, a tough job. Next up, for me, groups from A to C are very unpredictable, because I can see a clear favorite for the 1st place, Italy, Belgium and the Netherlands, but the other 3 teams are much more similar as quality and capability. I really can't pick which one of Switzerland, Wales and Turkey will finish last in Group A. But if I have to be honest, I believe that Turkey can be one of the overachievers of the tournament. So fight between the Welsh and the Swiss for the 3rd place in this group. And Finland and North Macedonia are the 2 biggest underdogs from all 24 teams in this tournament. But I believe they will have an important role to play too. It won't be too surprising to see one of them finishing 3rd, because none of Denmark, Russia, Ukraine and Austria is a dominant team who can easily win matches as a favorite to do it. I always try to watch each and every game from the Euros or the World Cup, but I know that sometimes that's impossible. And I want to highlight for you the key matches from the group stage. There are only 7 from 36, so you should be able to put them in your schedule of must-watch games. First, but not because it's the opening game, Turkey against Italy, 11th of June. Italy haven't lost a game in 33 months. The match will be played at Olimpico in Rome, and Turkey produced some great attacking football and high-scoring games lately, so the entertainment may start from day one. Then on Sunday in London we have England with Croatia. On Monday Spain faces Sweden in Seville, and on Tuesday, who can wait for the derby between France and Germany in Munich? Again in Munich, but even more important for me is the clash between Portugal and Germany at June the 19th, and 2 days later in Copenhagen we have an important battle between Russia and Denmark. And of course in Budapest on June the 23rd, Portugal against France in the last round, and in the last round almost every game will be crucial. We are all aware of the biggest stars in the best teams, but now let's look at some players who need to and can prove something in this tournament. For Italy, Ciro Immobile needs to start scoring goals like he does for Lazio. He has only 13 in 46 games for the Azzurri. If he is concentrated and determined, then Domenico Berardi can finally show his worth on the international stage, and maybe he's going to be the X factor for Italy. And after a very good season for Juventus, let's see if Federico Chiesa can shine for the national team too. For Belgium, I expect very good performances from Carrasco, who played magnificently for Atletico in the last few months. Hazard and Mertens are in a typical situation. They both had injuries, and if they pick up their form for the Euros, then Belgium has a real chance. Weghorst can be the revelation for the Netherlands after 25 goals in the last season for Wolfsburg. De Ligt should be fresh because he played fewer games in the last year, and Gravenberch and Gakpo are terrific young lads who can really help the Netherlands from the bench. I picked 4 players from England: Reece James, Mount, Foden and Bellingham. They had wonderful seasons, won trophies and are playing full of confidence. Spain, where Fabian Ruiz is getting closer to be the complete midfielder. Gerard Moreno scored 30 goals for Villarreal. Pau Torres is one of the best young central defenders in the world, and Ferran should have so much desire and energy after fewer games for Man City, but still a very good season. Finally healthy, Corentin Tolisso can be the creative force in the midfield of France. Ben Yedder is a world-class forward who will help Giroud and Benzema significantly, and I expect Kimpembe to be determined after a disappointing season with PSG. Kimmich is probably the best defensive midfielder in the world right now. Folland was excellent for Monaco last season, and that's why he is back in the national team after 4 years. And Leroy Sané had a tough season on individual level with Bayern, but he's still a wonderful player. For Portugal, I want to see good performances from the underrated Gonçalo Guedes. João Felix has some goals and assists in reserve for the national team, and João Cancelo should be confident after a very good year with Man City. At the end, some confessions from me as a fan. As I said in the beginning, I strongly support England, because I was raised watching English football. But my favorite to win the trophy, or at least to be on the final, is Italy, because of the cohesion and the belief within the squad of Mancini. And yes, many are picking France as the most likely winner, but after an exhausting season and heading into a new one, I really expect surprises. Enjoy the matches, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, share your views in the comments, which is your favorite for the European Championship, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time in Board the Game.